Hey there Rangers, and welcome to another Power Rangers Dino Charge Hiatus video. This week it's time for a little bit of this versus that. Power Rangers Dino Charge is the best season that we've gotten in years, no questioning that. However, it's kind of irresistible to look forward to the future and try to make some guesses about what comes next. By February 2016, we should have an announcement about what the next Power Rangers theme will be. With the interesting way that Nick has been airing episodes of Power Rangers, Saban Brands is going to have a choice of which Sentai season to adapt. Will they ride the Rainbow line with Tokkyuger, or throw stars with the Ninjas of Ninninger? On this episode, I'll talk a little bit about both seasons, give some pros and cons for each for adaptation, and then tell you what my vote is. Though, it may be a little obvious. And here's your standard disclaimer / spoiler warning. I'm going to be giving as much information as I can about each season. So that can mean anything from Tokkyuger and up to current on Ninninger. So, be warned. Let's start with Resha Sentai Tokkyuger. Tokkyuger is a story about a group of kids whose town is taken over by the Shadow Line, evil steampunk villains who seek to spread darkness across the world. The kids are saved by the Rainbow Line and aged up to become Tokkyugers, who use the power of imagination to operate powerful train Zords and weapons. Later on, a member of the Shadow Line gone rogue to work for the Rainbow Line, Zalam or Akira, becomes their 6th Ranger, Tokkyuger. He is the first legitimately orange Senshi since possibly Battle Cossack, and even he was a weird shade of orange. So, here are the pros for Tokkyuger becoming Power Rangers. First off, it's a creative theme. Trains have never been the core theme of a Ranger season. We have had vehicle themes, and Lightspeed Rescue had train Zords, but never trains as the core theme. Also, Tokkyuger has a fun line switch gimmick where the Rangers can switch trains with each other and thus change colors. They're identified by their numbers, Tokkyu Ichigo or Tokkyu number 1, for example, and are the same numbers despite their colors. This would allow for either multiple action figures or some kind of switching gimmick. The show's themes and villains make for great footage. Imagination is a cool power source, and the villains just beg for awesome action figures to be made. And yes, let's get it out of the way. My uniform says it all. The Orange Ranger must happen. Power Rangers has had Rangers with orange on the suit, but never just a straight up Orange Ranger. Alright, now the cons. Tokkyuger worked in Japan because trains are a huge part of the culture in Japan. While I think every American kid goes through a train phase, I can admit that trains aren't as big of a deal here. The core Ranger suits run a touch plain, probably to make that line switching gimmick easier. And the train Zords stay very true to trains, meaning that they're kind of stiff, straight lines. Tokkyu, their main Megazord, has big shoulder pads due to this. I got used to it, but some people have their concerns. Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. Alright, Sean. Unbiased. Professional. Ninninger is a story about a family of ninjas whose ancestors destroyed a ruthless yokai warlord 444 years ago. The world was thought safe when the time of unsealing him came and went, but it turns out they miscalculated and the time is now. Sure enough, the evil forces are currently working to resurrect him, and so the current generation is called together to learn the Shuriken ninja arts and become the Niningers. Their eccentric grandfather, the last ninja, says that one of them will be chosen to inherit his title, which makes calling it the last ninja a little weird. No, I said I'd be professional. Their Zords are things. A ninja man, a train, a bulldozer, a wolf, and a dragon. These are apparently themed around things the Rangers liked as children. There's also a very loose 40th annual anniversary connection, as each of the Zords represents a mecha category that has been used in the past. Their current auxiliary Zords are an elephant and a UFO. And now there's also a lion that's a castle. They are later joined by professional, a man from the United States who encountered the grandfather and now wants to learn under him. He is able to morph into Star Ninninger, a gold ranger that has a cowboy motif, who morphs with a cheeseburger, whose weapon is an electric guitar gun sword, and whose Zord is a giant bull. Though he also has a surfer Zord. Because this is even harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so the pros for adapting Ninninger into Power Rangers. Well, okay, the suits are pretty cool. I really actually like the helmets. The shurikens make for a good collectible. And I mentioned the suits, right? Yeah, suits. Good suits. All right, time for cons. Good God, this series is friggin' goofy. I've stopped watching the show, though I do plan to stomach through it for completion's sake. The only coherent theme of the series seems to be random humor. And from what I've seen, it so permeates the show, even into the morphed footage, that I have genuine concerns about what can be used. The villains are your average ancient Japanese mystic stuff. The Zords come across as just a random mishmash of nonsense. And the Gold Ranger, yet another Gold Ranger by the way, is a walking #America trope. How is that gonna come across in America? Alright, so it's time to let you guys know what my vote is. I wonder if you're able to figure out which of these series I like better and which one I think would be better for Power Rangers. My vote for Power Rangers 2017 is... Wait, what's that? You say I'm forgetting an option? Really? Oh, right! Busters! Ready, go! It has come to light very recently that 2012's Tokamei Sentai Go Busters is still an option for adaptation. Go Busters is about a group of special agents that fight to protect a new energy source called Enertron. Years earlier, before the show, a computer virus called Messiah threatened to take over the world. The researchers, the Rangers' parents, teleported their lab into subspace to prevent him from doing so. Years later, in present day, the Rangers now fight Messiah's minions enter and escape as they steal Enertron for their plans to bring Messiah back to the real world. Go Busters has a real military, secret agent kind of a feel to it. The Zords are animal-themed vehicles that are stored in hangars and maintained by a full fleet of workers. The Rangers have a range of special gadgets that can transform into different uses and can get around the city via a network of secret tunnels. They also each get a partner robot that can help them in battle as well as help pilot their Zord. An interesting thing about Go Busters is that in something of a reversal, it takes some inspiration from Power Rangers. The Go Busters morphin call is Let's Morphin, yeah, but their morphers say it's morphin time. The large enemy creations are called Megazords as well. That's what made it all the more ironic that Go Busters was passed over for adaptation originally, because it almost seemed to be made to be adapted. Go Busters was passed over for adaptation because there's nothing in its toy line that really works as a collectible gimmick, so toy sales went down. Also, the show suffered a bit in the ratings, with the story apparently reworked around the halfway point and a new theme song chosen. Toy sales and ratings are two big factors in adaptation, so it being passed over does make sense. The pros to Go Busters are kind of what I already said. It sets up very well for adaptation. Kids love secret agents and spies. The gadgets would make for fun toys. Also, there seemed to be a focus on changing the Zord footage, as it's shot in a very Bay-esque Transformers type style, and it helps make their Zord fights look more unique. Also, the suits are quite different, not even really using spandex, but instead going for more of a leathery look. The cons? Well, besides the toy sales and lack of collectibles, the show goes for an RPM like 3+2 format, meaning that there are only 5 Rangers. The other 2 are silver and gold, which would give us even more of those overused colors. Though it is neat how the Gold Ranger suit is actually the covering of his partner robot, whose underskin is his Silver Ranger outfit. Alright, when this was A or B, I could just make a vote, but now that there's 3 options, I think ranking them would be better. Obviously, my top choice is Tokkyuger. I just loved the feel of that show, the theme is unique, and the villains are incredible. I just think it's dripping with potential. Second would be Go Busters. The spy agent theme would be a lot of fun, the footage sets up for really easy adaptation. Third would be Ninninger. While the suits look great, the theme is just incredibly goofy, and the Zords don't really have any connection to each other. With the success of Dino Charge right now, I would assume that the executive producer job for Power Rangers is Chip Lin's as long as he wants it. And I completely and utterly trust him now. He was recently interviewed at San Diego Comic-Con by Bruno of MMPR Toys. Click here to watch that. And somewhat depressingly, it sounds like he's leaning pretty strongly towards Ninninger. Though he did say the choice of the season to adapt is made over his head with only his input sought. But if it does end up being Ninninger, I am confident that he would be able to turn it into something good. I just have some slight reservations. Wrapping this up, the fact that we're even having this debate means one really good thing to me. Do you guys remember just a few years ago when we weren't even sure how much longer Power Rangers would be around? The fact that we're debating what season comes next shows that we as Ranger fans have our confidence back. We're sure that Power Rangers is going to be around in 2017, the show's 25th anniversary by the way, and now we're just trying to figure out what it's going to look like. We're getting a movie next year that should expand this brand even more. It's just a great time to be a Power Rangers fan. Alright, next week is going to be a big video, so we need to bring them together. And I mean all of them. That's right, next week I'm going to be ranking my top 10 Power Rangers Ultra Zords. Now, that can get a little bit confusing as some seasons don't call their biggest combination Ultra Zord, while other seasons have Ultra Zords that are not their biggest combination. The main thing I'm going to be doing is going through each season and picking the biggest combination of Zords, whatever that is. Now, Operation Overdrive had something they called an Ultra Zord that wasn't their biggest combination, so for that season I'm just going to consider both. Alrighty, that's going to do it for this edition of Power Rangers Dino Charge Hiatus videos. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave your votes right down below in the comments, and also let me know what you thought of this episode. Subscribe to see my Ranger videos every Monday, and make sure to click that like button right down below. Until next time, may the power protect you.